Do I need an inspection? That's the question and topic for today's video blog. So we're going to look at it from different angles, okay? If you're a first-time buyer or if you're a seasoned vet. At the same time, are you buying a wood structure versus a concrete structure? Very important. So let's start off with inspections. I'm going to say normally, yes, you do want to have one. And I'm going to start with wood frame. Let's say you were buying an older house. If you were buying, let's say, a 1960s bungalow, there's a lot of stuff in there that you want to know about, right? And your inspector is normally going to spend 2 to 3 hours with you. A realtor like me, I actually go for the entire inspection. I find them very educational, and I think you would too. And so you go to the inspection, you shadow the inspector, and not over a 2 to 3 hour period, he's crawling up in the attic, he's down in the basement, he's unwiring the electrical unit to make sure that the wiring has been done professionally. So all of these kinds of things he's looking at. When you're looking at, let's say, a 60s bungalow house, you might be looking for several things. One is there any mold in the home, right? As we know that as mold, spores go in the air, and that can be bad for our lungs, people with allergies. Second thing they might look for is poly B piping. Poly B piping is an older version of piping from, I believe it, from the mid 80s to the late 90s. Very brittle plastic that after about 15 years just breaks. And insurance companies will not insure it, except for one that I know of. So we would not want to know beforehand if the home has poly B. And knob and tube wiring, you may have heard of this, a different type of wiring from the first part of the last century, and a lot of insurance companies don't like it. So they look for whether it's been pigtailed or not. Anyway, those are kinds of issues that you would get with a wood frame home and an older one, and so that's why you need an inspection. Now, a couple of examples here for you. Now let's say you're a first-time buyer. I do recommend an inspection. I do think it's going to be very educational for you. And you never know what you come across. About a year and a half ago, we did an inspection on a townhouse up on SFU Mountain. And we found throughout the course of the inspection, the inspector with his little gadgets was pressing it up against the wall to get water readings, and he caught some moisture in the basement walls, right, fronting to the outside. And we found a lot of wet wood that had to be replaced. That was going to cost $15,000 to fix, because you got to pull off the drywall and so on. And it's really good that we knew this beforehand. And that's the benefit of an inspection. And at the same time, we were able to renegotiate the price and bring the price down. And so that was a big savings to our client. And those are the kinds of things I'm always looking for. If I can find a way to save our client, an extra $10, I'll do it. But even more so, it's just finding bigger issues with the home. We want to know that before we firm up any deal, and so do you, okay? And so that is why you would do a home inspection, always on a wood frame product, and always if you're a first-time buyer, because you will find it educational, right? And now, moving along, there's other times that inspections are very helpful. Let's say you're buying a pre-sale unit, pre-sale townhouse. We had this about 6 weeks ago. We helped a nice young couple buying it over in North Delta, wood frame townhouse, of course. And the value here of an inspection is the inspector's basically doing the walkthrough with you. And he's going through to make sure the appliances are working, and to point out maybe any cosmetic deficiencies. In this case, there were quite a few, first-time builder, and we found things like, just the painting didn't match in different sections. The locks weren't working on certain doors in the home, both inside and to the outside. And there were just other issues with the home. In some cases, the flooring wasn't leveled, and that needed to be adjusted. So we want to know these things. You don't want to move in and find all these surprises. And, because after you've moved in, it's too late. You got to do it in the beginning. So that's why inspection on a pre-sale townhome is very important, okay? And I would just say that they're educational. I mean, the inspector is going to walk you through different, if you're going on vacation for 3 weeks, this is how you turn off the water. This is the water shut off. Here's how it works. Just they can sometimes find if the appliances are working or not. Things like that. You want to know ahead of time. Finally, when do you maybe not need an inspection? Well, let me paint a picture for you. If you were buying a 3-year-old condo, concrete condo, high-rise, pretty much brand new, and built by a reputable builder like Bosa or Cressy, you're going to be okay. There's going to be strata documents available that we receive, that your buyer's agent or I would receive on your behalf, and we get all of that information. There's strata minutes. I pour through that. I like to read through so we know what we're buying, and I always encourage my clients to as well. And that tells us if there's any issues with the building, if they're having any water leaks, we will know because it'll be in the strata minutes. Normally after about 10 years, most condos will have a depreciation report. And what that is really is just a long-term budget for the building. But it tells you how old things are. It says the roof is 12 years old, for example, and needs to be replaced in 13 years. And here's how much it's going to cost the strata and you as a unit owner. And so that's how we would know. So with a newer condo, concrete, maybe not so necessary. So those are some of the key things. If you're a first-time buyer, definitely get an inspection. If you're buying any kind of wood frame structure, definitely get an inspection. And if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to leave those below. Thank you very much for watching.